Hello traders, this is Day Trader Matt with businesswithtrading.com doing an E-mini trading room recap for Monday the 27th of October, and today was a great day in the markets. We had quite a gap down here. The price came down, chopped around a little bit to the upside, chopped around a little bit more to the upside, and then chopped around a little bit to the downside and basically went sideways. Yeah, it was a very interesting day. It was a very fruitful day as well. We had 8 trades and pulled 34.25 points out of the markets. So it was a great day. We don't have days like this all the time, but for some reason in October we've had awesome movement in the markets. And we've been able to take advantage of that. Every day that the market moves is not guaranteed that we'll be able to make a large profit. I've had days where the market moves 20 points and I pull out 3 points. Am I happy with that? Yeah, sort of. I'm never upset. Whenever I take money out of the market, I'm always happy. It doesn't really matter what the market does. I will look at things objectively, but I'm never going to be like, well, shit, I'm really pissed off at myself because this happened and this happened and that happened. There's really no time to do that. I do this as a business. I do this as a way to make income. There's really no reason to get upset. Well, with that said, today was a really great day. Let's get into what actually happened today. Excuse me. Right off the open here, we see, you can barely even see these candles. This one here, and then this one over here. Right when the market opened, it kind of chopped around a little bit. We did take a short over here. We were able to take profit on the way down. Market came back up. We got short again. And we were able to take profit again on the way down. This time, though, it's over here. We were able to take a long. We were able to ride that up. We were able to get short again. And we were able to actually ride it down. The market started moving lower. And then it actually just kept going lower, which was awesome because we could just stay in the trade. Again, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we get out early and the market continues. Sometimes we get out early and the market comes back. Sometimes and sometimes we are able to stay in. And this was one of those times. It was, definitely a good time. So market comes down. When it chops around a little bit, and we were able to get short again up here, actually. And we were able to ride that down a little bit, and we actually switched it into a long down here. We were able to switch it into a long, and from there we actually took profits towards the top of this region here. And as the market did come down, we were able to get long again over here, and we were able to ride that up, taking profits up here actually. So it was a very good day. 10:45, we were pretty much done, and we watched the market a little bit longer, and just closed up shop. It was one of those days where it was just really great trading. First, hour, 15 minutes, we were able to make 34 points, 34.25 points. It was a very good day. And it's one of those days where when you have a really good day, I see a lot of new traders, they like to, rest on their laurels. Today was a great day. I'm so awesome because I chose all of those trades, and I'm immortalized because I made 34.25 points and blah blah. And then the next day, bam, they just get crushed. I've seen it. I've heard stories. Obviously, I've done it myself when I first started out trading. I think that's pretty much a guarantee of trading. I've never met anybody who this has not happened to at one point. You know, when you're first starting out in trading, at least for me anyway, you know, there's so much information out there. You can, you know, become part of that information overload where you just have an information dump and boom, you know, well, what the hell do I do now? I have all this information, but how do I digest it? Where do I start? What do I do? And, you know, stuff like that happens. You know, so I've definitely seen it, heard it, and been a part of it. You know, and the best thing to really do is look at your trading objectively. You know, today was a great day. Why was it a great day? Okay, that's great. Well, now we're going into tomorrow, and a lot of people try to correlate the days way too much. Like, you know, today did this, so tomorrow is going to do this. I made 34 points today, so tomorrow I should make blah blah blah, you know. And each day is separate. Each day should be on their own. You know, just like market correlations. You know, the correlations never stay the way they are all the time. You know, I see a lot with the US dollar in the stock market. People try to, you know, use a standard correlation that's out there. You know, the dollar goes down, the market goes up. And it doesn't do that all the time. And whoever tells you it does is full of shit. You know, sometimes the market goes up and the dollar goes up. Sometimes they are opposite. You know, there's no correlation that's like that. You know, and that's a good example. You know, you want to be aware of what's going on, but you don't want to get so close that you lose sight of everything. You know, they say lose the forest through the trees. You know, that's an analogy that a lot of people like to use. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there because I could probably talk about this for days and days and days. So if you have any questions, definitely you can post them below the video. You can also email me directly, support@abusinesswithtrading.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, and I'll see you back here in the markets. Thank you.